going on, everyone? Conservative Video Dipper here. If you got a dip, pack a lip. Dip tobacco is not a safer alternative to cigarette, vape, nicotine, or any tobacco or nicotine product. If you are the age of 18 or under 18, we do not recommend that you dip, smoke, vape, or use any tobacco or nicotine product or watch any of these videos. If you are the age of 21 or older, you can dip, smoke, vape, or use any tobacco or nicotine product or watch these videos at your own risk. Mileage may vary. We are not sponsored nor endorsed by any dip tobacco company product that you may see or hear in this video. Pack dip and spit with me. If you have a dip, then pack one with me. If not, then I'm about to pack one for you. The pros and cons to dipping. Let's do a video because I don't think I have done that. And I'm going to do that. So, I'm going to be dipping the almighty King of all dips, Grizzly Long Cut Wintergreen. Let's get into the video. The pros and cons to dipping. Let's do the pros. So, the pros to dipping are as follows. That when you start dipping, you'll notice that sometimes when you dip, that you will feel a little bit calmer. You will notice that the dip gives you that sensation, depending on what dip you're dipping. It will help you feel more relaxed, more at ease. It will give you not only that calm sensation, but it sometimes for some people it gives them that feeling of more focus. And it helps them focus a little bit more. To some people it does. That's one thing. The other is this one might be a little bit disgusting, and I'm sorry, but this is true. It's a natural laxative, so it helps them poop. Yes, it is true. Dipping can help you sometimes poop a little bit. Now, I'm not going out of my way to tell you to eat a whole shit ton of block of cheese and then just like start dipping a whole shit ton and trying to see if it's like Miralax and it deconstipates you. No. But it does help you poop a little bit, and yes, it does kind of make the poop a little bit stinky. So just make sure that you have your fan running when you're taking that morning nice dump. Trust me, I know how the feeling goes. That is truth. There is a little bit of truth to it because, yeah, I know it. It happens with me, and I feel it happen a lot. A lot of dippers probably will feel that way. The other thing is that when you're dipping, you will start to just, in my most biggest opinion, I think a lot of dippers will find that it's just the feeling. It has a really good feeling to it. After a while, they will enjoy the buzz. They will not just the common sensation, but the buzz and the flavor. They will enjoy the just the dip in general, and the fact that what it has to offer with what it really gives you. It gives you the nicotine and the tobacco without you smelling like cigarettes, and or you having to go out and smoke in a smoke area, which is nice. And that is a pro that you do get to enjoy a little bit more. I find more enjoyable than smoking. Ouch. That's going to be a con. We'll get into that one here in a bit. That is something that you get to enjoy. The other pro is that there are different brands and different flavors and different strengths that you can be able to find out there that will suit your need and what you want to start with or be able to explore before you start moving up to like Grizzly or something really high like the nicotine pouches that are like 12 milligrams. So different brands, different flavors, different things. Grizzly does have different things to offer, but they are very strong. But there's different brands that have different flavors and different strength. Like Skull is pretty weak, Longhorn's pretty weak. Good for beginners. They'll give you a good way to start off and kind of kick off your way of dipping and kind of let you get used to being able to have that feeling of the gator lip and just be able to experience what it's kind of like without getting too buzzed or having too much nicotine without being too nick sick. You can get that experience and that feeling. So that's a good thing too. Now, there is another thing to this that I do want to point out. That also, when I say comparable, the difference to cigarettes and vape, that is one thing that I do really like about it, and that I think a lot of people do and will say one thing about dip is that it is a natural form. It is more natural. That is something that a lot of dippers will tell you. That is my pro to it, because I cannot, for me, the life of me, ever see myself going back to smoking, like I said before. And a lot of dippers will tell you, some are smokers, some are just straight up dippers like me. They will tell you their own opinions. They will have mixed opinions. But keep that in mind as you choose what you want to do. Whether you want to dip or smoke, or you want to dip and smoke, or a little bit of both. Keep that in mind as you listen to the pros and cons. Now, we get into the cons. Okay, the cons, the price. Dipping will be a little bit expensive, depending on your brand and what you choose. For example, Grizzly can be very hell expensive, depending on like how many rolls you're buying and how often you're dipping. That is something that you really do need to keep into your memory bank, because dipping for a lot of people can be maybe not bad, not worse than smoking when it comes to price, but sometimes it can be really more expensive. So think about that. The other thing is, when it comes to cons, you're going to be probably spitting a lot, as you see me doing. I do not recommend gutting. That is another thing that I will always tell you. Don't ever gut. if you have, for instance, acid reflux, GERD, or heartburn, do not dip. Dipping will cause your heartburn, your acid reflux, or your GERD to act up worse. It's just going to do it, and it will make it worse to where it is a pure bitch, and you won't like it. So, don't do it. It can do it. I've been there, done that with it. I don't do it as often. I try not to do it as much because I do have heartburn, and it's one of those things where sometimes you have to kind of balance how much do I do, and if I feel like, okay, my heartburn's really acting up, I'm not going to dip today. So maybe use like nicotine pouches. So you can use nicotine pouches to basically, instead of just using regular dip, substitute it for regular dip, use that. But it can cause you to have that heartburn. So be warned, but also make sure that if you do have heartburn and you do need nicotine, find a substitution for yourself so that you are ready to deal with it. Or if you can deal without having nicotine for a full day without being cranky, then good for you. The other one is the mess. If you're doing long cut, it is going to be very supremely fucking messy. This is something that a lot of long cut users have known for a long time, that it is very messy, and yeah, you can't help it, really. It's just one of those things that sometimes they overfill the can, or when you're trying to take a good pinch and it just goes over the edge and you really don't mean it, but it happens, then yeah, it sucks. But be mindful that it will be a issue that can occur more than often than not. And I'm going to my nicotine pouches right now because I'm starting to feel the heartburn. So just be warned on that one, that it can be very messy. Now if you use like nicotine pouches, like what I just popped in, you won't have to deal with the mess, but here's the con to those. You're probably going to end up using 2 of those, which means that you're going to probably go through those a lot faster than you will with the long cut. Long cut will probably last you longer than the nicotine pouches or regular pouches. So choose wisely and decide which one do you want to use. Which one do you think will last you longer? If you think that long cut will last you longer, or you know, like the regular dip will last you longer than the pouches, then do the cut. Go for the cut. If you think that you can be able to manage the pouches a little bit better, hit for the pouches. Whichever one works for you, that's okie dokie for me. The other con to the dip in general is that, again, some dips are going to be weaker than others. That is a given, like I said before, that you do have to realize. And not just that, but even the same thing with pouches. So when it comes to, even if you choose pouches, let's say instead of using cut, pouches. When you are thinking of pouches as a alternative to using long cut, pouches are a good thing to have, They're a lot cleaner. They're a little bit more subtle. They're not going to be as upfront. They're not going to be like something that everybody's going to know that you have. But some will be stronger and weaker. So don't try to just buy the stronger ones right off the gate. Make sure you go weak first, then up the strength. Because if you go strong first, you might end up getting sick, and you probably never will want to use pouches again. Try to find something that works for you regarding pouches as well. Another thing regarding dip cons is that it is really messy with the hands. Your fingernails. The long cut will go under your fingernails a lot. So, more than likely with long cut, you are going to have to definitely clean under your fingernails. A lot. Because it will go under your fingernails. It will be an issue that sometimes people don't notice, or they might notice it and they're just like, okay, fuck it, whatever. But just make sure you clean under your fingernails or clip your fingernails, because some people don't like that. Yeah, there's that one. The other thing that I can really think of is that when it comes to dipping, you will get addicted. That's a big one. You will become very addictive after a while. It is an addictive substance that is because of the nicotine and partially because of the tobacco. People may tell you, oh, it's mind over matter on quitting. No. It's because you are addicted because of nicotine. It is going to do that to you. So, if you are planning on trying to quit dipping, talk to your doctor about nicotine gum or patches or pouches or whatever's out there. Have them figure out what they can do for you to quit, because you can become very addicted to this, and this is a con to it that, you know, some dippers can quit on their own, which is beautiful, but I can't do it, and I've seen dippers fall and fail because it's kind of one of those demons that just grab you and it holds you down. Sometimes dipping makes you very tired. You can get very relaxed to the point where you are kind of like very, very tired. Like I am kind of right now. I'm very super just like, that's because you're relaxed. You basically have nicotine in your system and you feel very good. And also because I got my heater going, so that's why. Be right back. Sorry guys, I had to turn off my heater. Anyway, so yeah, nicotine can make you feel a little bit tired at times, which is an effect. It's not bad. It's not something that you should be too worried about. You don't need to call your doctor or call 911. You're fine. It's just because you're relaxed. Sometimes people without nicotine can feel very cranky. That's a side effect of nicotine withdrawal. That is a common effect that obviously is a sign partially to addiction, and that you do need nicotine and your body is craving it because your body's basically saying, hey, I need the fake dopamines. Your body creates real dopamines every day, but the dip creates false dopamines in your system, and your body gets used to the fake dopamines and it starts loving it more and more, and your body's like, hey, I love this, now I need more of it, yay. So your body's kind of like, well, fuck, now I want more and I don't have more, and your body starts hating you for it. So yes, you kind of get the crankies. Another thing is that sometimes the accidental sippies with your spit cups. Dippers do tend to sometimes do this, where they think, oh, this is a drink, and they'll drink their spit. Don't do it. Just about threw up for reals. Yeah, don't do it. Some dippers do tend to do this. It's because they forget that when they're sitting here and they see something right beside them, especially like this, they'll forget and they'll just take a swig. That's a common effect of just us, just being us naturally. So those are basically the little bits of pros and cons to dipping. Not very much. There's a few others I'm trying to think of. Oh yeah, sometimes your sleep patterns can be a little bit different in the beginning, or if you are changing your dip habits and times, your sleep patterns can be off a little bit. So make sure, like, if you are dipping, try not to dip at night so that you can get good sleep, good night, 8 to 9 hours of sleep if possible. Don't be like me where you're up at 1 o'clock in the morning trying to be a fucking night owl. That's one other issue that not all dippers suffer from, but some dippers notice that sleep patterns can be a big issue if they dip at night, and it's because, again, they're dipping at night and the nicotine, some people think the nicotine will wire them, some will make them feel like it's kind of a downer. So each one has a different effect. So again, there's the pros and cons to each of those. Some people, like I said, it's going to wire them to where they're like, some like, I'm cool. So just make sure you're not dipping at night so that you can, again, have that 8 to 9 hours of sleep where you're feeling okay. Try to at least, maybe if you can, last dip would probably be good around maybe after dinner, or maybe about 6 o'clock-ish. If you go to bed around 8 or 9, 6 o'clock is about the best time to have your last dip, and then call it. So there you go, pros and cons to dipping. See you guys.